r/AskReddit. What is something that you would never confess to your family? That my mother, who always said time and time again that she will never turn into her mother, has turned into her mother. My sisters and I have formed a pact. If any of us start exhibiting signs of becoming like our parents, it is the solemn duty of the rest of the sisters to bring that beach back to reality, or in the event that this fails, execute her. We have all accepted that this is for the greater good. My extended family thinks I've had no career or salary advancement for 10 years. I play a bumbling idiot with them who just can't catch a break. Reason being, they're a cavalcade of self-inflicted sob stories and GoFundMe grifters. I don't want to be hit up for loans every other week. I'm actually a senior manager at an established consulting firm. If they had a good reason for their misery other than got drunk with the money for bills and didn't pay them, I would help them out. Pretending to be a struggling idiot deflects any attempts at soliciting me for money. Note, I live out of state from them and they don't travel. So I only have to maintain this foolish charade for Thanksgiving and Christmas. My parents are in on it. I joined the Navy to get away from them. Not because I felt some sort of patriotic duty like they tell people. I liked it. I found a purpose. I got great training that got me the job I have today. But I did it because I hated it at home. Edit. Wow, this blew up. I've been trying to answer questions and DMs, but I was on mobile last night. So sorry if I didn't get to them until this morning. Just a little elaboration. I was in from 1997 to 2005. Joined after high school. That I was expelled from, but graduated through the special programs and was on probation. Because of why I was expelled, I was acting out a lot because of home life. A lot has changed in training. So I'll answer questions as best I can. Thanks for all the support and the awards. I would never tell my grandmother how much of an idiot I think my uncle is. She buries her head in the sand about him. Edit. I'm probably not your wife, cousin, niece or sister. Thanks for asking. I use Reddit. Both of my parents hate me talking to people online because they think I am going to get kidnapped or raped or something. So I'm not allowed to post comment like anything by people they don't know. Edit. Could y'all quit asking for my personal info? I get that it's a joke, but I'm a minor and I'm actually kinda getting tired and uncomfortable. Tie. That I'm really not as smart or motivated as they claim I am. I'm ducking stupid and I kind of just want to sit in my apartment and do nothing until I die at 30. That's kinda what I thought, but here I am. 32 years old and not dead. Call it procrastination, I guess. I'm really happy to only see them once or twice a year due to living 3,000 miles away. I just can't stand them. They all gossip and talk shit and spin their wheels so much you can't even have a normal conversation with any of them. It's all drama and always has been. I never understood how and why I was so depressed my entire life. Found escapism through alcohol and partying. Since I've lived across the country I'm sober. Have a super awesome family and I barely ever see them. It's great. You're fine with telling them about the cum and shit guzzling? That I handcraft cast in silicone, nerdy sex toys and pay bills with dong money. Do you have a website? 4. Research. The code for price clause to work correctly depends on make, but most modern key code ones use factory code 5,318,008. I talk to strangers online, and guess what? Mum, I haven't been murdered by a catfish yet. My younger aunt and I almost fooled around when we were kids. We didn't know about each other and when we both met she was 13. I was 15. As we grew up there was a ton of flirting and sexual tension. It never came to anything, thank God. But we had some intimate conversations around it. Oddly enough, both of us are very close today and have even spoke about how ridiculous the whole thing was. Edit for some FAQ in comments. Asterisk. Technically my half aunt. Mom had me at 16. Grandpa had an affair with another woman. Produced my aunt 2 years later. And subsequently left grandmother for other woman. For the record, both of those women are lovely. I rarely see the grandmother who lives far away, but the other woman lives in the same state and sees her great grandson and I with some frequency. Neither of us want to bone the other anymore. And at least one of us is happily married. We're both embarrassed, but I think she's more embarrassed than I am. That being said, she is very attractive and younger me fantasized about it a lot and I will always have those fantasies with me. We have children and those children see each other infrequently, attend each other's birthday parties yada yada. We've rarely talked about it, but when we have it's very dismissive like what the hell was wrong with us type thing. Obviously, it's always there for me and I'm pretty sure for her. I can't interact with her without thinking, hey, remember that time we talked about fooling around and then never did? Up until about a year ago, I said I would take to my grave that my stepdad molested me for almost 30 years, but I outed the dude 8 months ago. Cheers. Edit. I've never felt so much love from strangers. I love Reddit. I'm going to spend tomorrow reading everyone's comments. You all matter. And if this post encourages even one person to speak their truth, it was worth it. Thank you, kind strangers. Anything related to porn? What are you doing, stepbro? How sad I am. Almost any of my thoughts, feelings and beliefs on anything. I don't think that's really a bad thing, they don't need to know any of that. I really don't enjoy spending time with them. I've been the black sheep since I was a child and it sucks when the entire family thinks of you as the mean one. Then wonder why you don't have any interest in spending time with them. I'm the picky, selfish, resting beach face black sheep to my family. I will admit I was misbehaved when I was a kid 10 plus years ago, but I'm not a child anymore. They just refuse to think of me as any different than I was and keep bringing up the past. Also, it's not picky to not want to eat off of dirty, crusty plates, dad. All I want is to feel loved and secure, but I don't feel that in this family. That I accidentally got her, my mom, a non-vegetarian hot dog one time. I just didn't think when I was ordering. She thought it was the best veggie dog ever and had a great night's sleep that night. I will take that to the grave with me. Edit. Clarifying who her is. In the worst part of my alcoholism, I tried to overdose on sleeping pills. In the way to the hospital, my mom said it might have been better for everyone if I just did the deed. I haven't forgiven her and I don't know if I can. Edit. Thank you for the messages. I read them all even if I didn't reply. I've bettered myself since this happened almost 7 years ago. I'll have 3 years in September. I still love my mother and I understand how she could say this in the moment. I know what I did and I accept responsibility. I hope I can separate my own pain and insecurity. And like a few people said, therapy would help. Once I have health insurance again. I don't want vindication or revenge for what happened. Someone I love said something devastating to me at my lowest point. As you / Rika said, I understand why she did this, but I'm not okay with it. At least not yet. I used to smoke meth. I've been clean for 13 years now and they'll never know. Edit. Holy shit. Thank you for the golds and F button. To answer a few questions. I smoked for 5 years. I got into a huge fight with my parents and moved to another city so no one really saw me, and this was before Facebook and shit, so there wasn't any gross pics being posted. I got clean with some help, moved back, and made up with my family. I'm running out of excuses on why I won't watch Breaking Bad though. In 3rd grade, I cheated on my history exam. In 4th grade, I stole my Uncle Max's toupee and I glued it on my face when I was Moses in my Hebrew school play. In 5th grade, I knocked my sister Edie down the stairs and I blamed it on the dog. When my mom sent me to the summer camp for fat kids and then they served lunch, I went nuts and I pigged out and they kicked me out. But the worst thing I ever done, I mixed a pot of fake puke at home and then I went to this movie theater, hid the puke in my jacket, climbed up to the balcony and then I made a noise like this. Hua 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 hua. And then I dumped it over the side, all over the people in the audience. And then, this was horrible. All the people started getting sick and throwing up all over each other. I never felt so bad in my entire life. I met a random redditor for sex and quite enjoyed it. Was it me? And quite enjoyed it. Obviously not me. Never mind. My husband knows. But I am very apathetic and don't feel a lot. I do feel and have feelings, but not the same as other people seem to. I know what I should feel and have learned how to react when I need to. But I tend to truly only feel more extreme emotions and the rest of the time I am just content or neutral. Fetishes. LOL. I'm into that one. That I was sexually abused by a friend of my mother's when I was about 7 years old. My brother was by a different person and that is known. There is nothing to be gained. Edit. Thank you guys for your comments and messages. You were as a majority as awesome as I thought you would be. Nice try, mom. I've dropped psychedelics and the old lazy pose me who was killed in my trip. Now I'm super motivated and hardworking. Damn. I took psychedelics multiple times and I'm still an unmotivated piece of shit. I want a refund. My ultimate secret crush. Your cousin? That I started masturbating every day at age 9. They know. Was raped in elementary school. Attempted suicide. Have depression and social anxiety. I'm sorry. If you ever want to talk to someone, I'll listen. No judgments. I've been through something similar. I went to a brothel while I was in Germany and it was amazing. My pleasure. That I am about to fail university. I struggle but can't tell them because they are proud of me. I've been there. When I finally had to tell them, I tore the bandage off and told them a bunch of other stuff I was worried about. 2. I flunked out of college. That I'm B. And I'm an atheist. To their credit, they took it in stride. Better than I imagined they would. They're still proud. And I imagine yours will be. 2. If nothing else, I'm proud of you for trying. My mom set me up with one of her nurse co-workers and a few months later I had to go half-seas on an abortion. A family member used to live in our home, groomed me and sexually abused me when I was around 12 YO. Not sure about the age. Don't really want to remember. But yeah, I don't think I would ever tell them. I'm not even sure they would believe me. Happened to me when I was in 5th grade by my older sister's boyfriend. I told when I was an adult and they didn't even pretend to believe me. My first thought when I found out my wife was pregnant was now I have something else to live for. I was struggling harder with my mental health than I cared to admit to anyone, even myself. The news that I would have a baby to look after got me to get remedicated and seek therapy. Probably something that I would never confess to Reddit either. Oh, go on. We won't tell anyone. I have a Wattpad account with a story that has 112k reads on it. My 13-year-old daughter found Wattpad from Minecraft gamer videos she watched. I missed the signs and took me about 10 days to figure it out because how secretive she was out of the blue. When I did, I realized she was already being groomed by 2 users. Went to cops. They lured them using my daughter's account. One bailed pretty quickly and deleted account. The other one started texting the number the cops gave her. Within 3 weeks they lured her across country and busted her at a hotel room in our town. She had tape, ropes, some kind of liquid and needles in her car. I vomited in my mouth when the police sergeant told me about that. He said my daughter may have to testify, but maybe not because most of it happened after they took over the account. The legal folks would let us know. I wasn't sure about that. My daughter knew a bad person was talking to her, but I did not share everything with her then. We dealt with the social media use through better education and started monitoring better. The prosecutor assistant contacted and said that they had contacted authorities in town where the lady lived. They did search and found evidence at her house tying her to multiple missing girls in that area. Our case was being dropped at this time, so they could pursue the missing girls' cases. I was relieved. My daughter is almost 18 now. Jay told her the full story when she was 16. It was upsetting for her, tears and shaking, but I knew she was going to be okay when she said as she wiped her tears. Well, I'm glad we saved some other girls from her. Yes, I'm glad. 2. I hate Wattpad. That I don't agree with the half of their views that sometimes range anything from racist comments, laziness, lifestyle etc. Not anything special, but it's a bit annoying when you want to strike up a constructive debate but it would only turn to yelling. A quick edit because I am new to Reddit and this 1000 upvotes makes me feel very validated even if it may seem a small number to others. Thanks my friends. Any sexual dream I've had, ever, nobody needs to know that. Edit. I love how this is my top comment on Reddit, something I can't share with anyone. Most of my mental health was caused by them. I love my parents but I am mentally screwed up. I am not a sociopath but I have issues and I am Asian and mental health isn't something that is considered an illness in the Asian community. I'm bisexual. I'm not ashamed of it at all. I'm out to everyone non-family. I've been with my boyfriend for 4 years and I just see no reason to risk them freaking out about it. And I'm not that close with them anyway. As much as I try, it's next to impossible to articulate how they made us, my siblings and myself, feel as children and the deep-seated emotional trauma that brings with it. We love each other even now, and by no means were they terrible people or the kind of parents that I'd have been taken away with. They did their best and tried so hard, but they aren't perfect and their mistakes cut deep. I still have a relationship with both of them and I love them dearly. I guess that's probably why I'll never tell them how awful it all was. I physically can't bring myself to. It's like trying to talk when your tongue goes numb. I can't imagine breaking it to them that they sucked. That I would be happier if I never had to see them again. That I want to give up on marriage and kids. I have trust issues and every time I trust people, they disappoint me in the end. So I would like to save my kids from such trust issues by not having them. That I don't share their love and obsession with the band Heart. They would never look at me the same if I ever confessed to this. I wish for death every night before I fall asleep. I hate myself, everyone, everything and want to not feel anything anymore. My family does not know that many times I stopped eating so that they can eat. We do not have much money because we are immigrants and for this reason I do not earn much money at my job. I just wanted to let off steam. Have a nice day. Edit. I read the messages and I am happy to know that there are such good people on the internet who care about others. That gives me hope that humanity is not completely lost. Thank you very much for your wishes. I'm a recovering alcoholic and drug addict at 24. They all warned me that my entire family was full of them but I thought I was different. 105 days sober. That I don't love my parents. I know it sounds kinda bad but I honestly don't. I posted recently a few reasons why, but even though I don't love them, I don't want to hurt them by saying it. In high school when they thought I was at a wholesome sleepover I was actually completely wasted on cheap vodka running around on the local golf course and peeing without abandon. I absolutely do know why no computer in the house seems to be able to access any Fox Sky News Ltd website and could fix it in 20 minutes. But just like my parents refused to get internet at home until after I'd finished high school in 2008 for my own good, I'm now doing something for their own good. Also, I was the one who reported my brother's first girlfriend to the child abuse report leading to her abuse of my nephew being investigated, my brother having a mental breakdown and my mum having to be primary caregiver to the nephew. No regrets, but for the stress it caused it's not something I'm admitting to. I have a daughter. I've never wanted kids but being young, dumb and full of cum I got my fiancée pregnant but with our issues we couldn't deal with actually taking care of a kid so we put her up for adoption. The family who got her was very excited and had been trying for almost a decade to have one of their own but couldn't. They had just gotten through the background stuff the month before she was born and this was their first chance at actually adopting. They were super happy. My fiancé cried at giving her to them and I just wanted to go get ducked up and forget it. We got married and divorced a few years back and I got my life together but occasionally I think of her but can't bring myself to try and chat. I would have ruined that child's life. That I have a better relationship with my friends than I do with them. The fact that I've been depressed for more than half my life. I remember a family friend had committed suicide and my parents were saying I don't understand how someone could do that. I calmly said I could really relate to why someone would do that. The look of disbelief and desperation in my mother's face broke my heart and I realized how she had interpreted what I said. I don't live at home and for almost a month afterwards she would call me every day to check on me and make sure I was okay and tell me that I'm loved and if I ever needed to talk about anything she and my father were always there for me. My second husband that they all think is wonderful has cheated on me, and it's actually far worse than the cheating that caused my first divorce from my high school sweetheart I had spent 15 years and had 2 children with. And I daily wish that if I had to work on a marriage, it were my first. I'm going through the motions, and I smile and nod while they gush about him. If they knew he had slept with 5 other women in the course of our relationship, it would be awful. I found out about all of them in the course of a few months, a year after we married. Had I even had a suspicion before, I wouldn't be here. But he's a cop and I was RN in NP school with 2 kids. He's in his 40s. I'm in my late 30s. I ducked up by thinking we were busy adults and I didn't need to babysit a grown man. I was wrong. How angry I am at them. That I think about suicide fairly often. Wow, thanks people, I didn't think anyone would read this and would just get buried. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.